You see that one of the extension of the repository, you see the user repository. I have the user domain models here, the user domain model and JPA repository. So then this is the, and then even though you can define your own user repository, customs repository, that means you have own repository to define somewhere something, all the annotations or queries, annotation, modify annotations, all things, and then you implement those user repository and then implement those repository into the your interface or your implemented classes, and then control and define the controllers and expose your endpoints for the respective functionalities. And here's the how to use the criteria queries. You see the one of the older examples that I say, the criteria queries, you can sessions and then and get criteria builders and criteria query. You can pass the your domain objects and then you can route and then you can pass the class and you select it and then you can iterate through those. You can create a query from the items and then you can list through your items and get result list, and that's one of the approach to use the criteria queries. That's I said, many places as enterprise application developer, I need to be adjust what I need and what is the possibility. Was the possibility means the technology also. The possibility means the resources also. When how efficiently the team works and how the resource works, what the potential for our developers, our team developers, and depending those things are depending on the which technology you need to take over, which technology you need to think about, but it depending on your business rule also, which approach you take to your development frameworks. So you see that I try to abstract something to make it clear to call the, so one of the example to build it, the criteria queries based on the criteria queries. Using expression, you can do the criteria queries with expression. You see the get less than or greater than or between, in between your records, and then you can, even though it's null or not null checks, that those things you can do with using the expressions with the criteria builders. And then finally here you can see the some criteria allows to easily change your expressions. If you use some example here, you can change very quickly your expressions, and even though your where clauses to change your expression, even though your statistical calculations for the logical operators, greater than, less than, or less than equal, or joined, even though you can do the join operations with the where clause operation, select and where clause operation, and then you pass to the parameters what we like to do, and logical or, logical and. This is real. This is a good way, depending how you think, how you integrate, how your business plan, how available your resources, depending on how you like to do. But all the technology is there. If you are in the JPA or in the Spring Data or Spring Data JPA, and all solution is there, but depend on how you get it, how you try to do it to solve your problem, or to integrate those technology into your development structures or your development resources. That's I mean. Here is one of the criteria queries for the counting. You can row counter, and then you can get everything, and even though you get aggregator, um, aggregate functions like average, sum, maximum, minimum, and counter, those things you can do also the criteria with the criteria query very quickly, very efficiently. Criteria update functions, you can do the update criteria queries, and even though you can do with the delete queries. Yes, that's nice. So that what I cover here, that's what I try to explain you here, how you think about to integrate those technology into the your development framework or development resources or your project goals. That means if you are into the microservice or monolithic, if you are not in the monolithic application, if you are in the microservice based more new technology architecture based applications, then I will suggest you to come up those solutions, to come up this technology stack. That means you have a ORM models in the depending on which backend server you have, it's a SQL backend server or non-SQL backend server, or then you decide, okay, we have a water models, and then in the top of the water models, then go to the our JPA and the Spring Data JPA, and then you expose your all the repositories and implement the all respective repositories, and to implement those repositories. It means to integrate the your queries annotations, modify annotations, your criteria APIs, all the possible data manipulation tools or concept or ideas that I try to explain here. So in the next screencast, I will give it to you how I start the development. So I need for my screencast number 35 to 3541.40, I need the my CRUD operation for my plot, buildings, floor, unit, users, and the user role registration. That means I need set up microservices. What I decide, I have a microservice for only the user registration, and I have a microservice for the building registration, for the floor, buildings, floor, and unit registration. That means I need to be I have to be build those microservices, and at least two microservices. If I need more, and then I need to implement those microservices. But at the moment, I am making a plan like my application need only basically my application need those microservices. Like I can register the address, I can register the user, I can register the roles, and do the CRUD operations, and then I have this set of the plot, buildings, floor, or units, and then and so on and so forth. This is the part of the geo application functionalities. In this case, I have a microservice because all data is there in the backend server. I have exposed my REST endpoints on REST APIs, and then I call those APIs. I build our application. That's all. That was the idea, to give it to you. How can you define? How can you develop? Or how can you make those concepts to build those microservices based on your project specification, based on your feature implementations, and integrate those microservices into your GUI framework like Angular or React, or that doesn't matter, or Timelead or FreeMarker or Rails, depending which font technology you try to use it. Because I have all the examples, like I have a FreeMarker based font technology. One example, just go to my channels, and I have a like Timelead. I have a FreeMarker. Now the last one was the Angular based font and technology. Maybe this next one I'll coming to the React based font and technology to implement those things. So I would like to thanks for the guys, and then I will continue by the next screencast. Just follow those screencasts, and subscribe the channels, and please share your ideas and concept. That will improve my knowledge, and I try to share with my last 10 years, so 10 or 12 years of professional experience with you, and just write down your comments, and share your friends, or your, and integrate. If you have really interesting things here, just integrate my concept or ideas into your development approach or development techniques. I believe it is. You can integrate a lot of things from here, because I try to cover geo and non-geo part together. This is one of the big enterprise application concept, because nowadays anywhere, if you are going, think about the PayPal, or you have a Google's, or you have a Facebook, or the YouTube, all are things, or banks, or insurance companies, or ITS, or intelligence traffic system, or smart city applications. All are nowadays the geo and non-geo. So you need to see everything into the geo maps. That's why it is important to get it clearly what is geo and non-geo. How can you combine those applications? How can you those information need to be transformed as it is microservice application, and expose those REST endpoints, and use those REST endpoint into the any content technology. That's why. Then subscribe the channels, write down your comment. I will see you later. And now is bye bye, goodbye, goodbye.